In this video, I would like to talk about the basic principles of our foreign policy. These are all part of the introduction to India's foreign policy and the broader perspective. So, a major component or rather a major understanding what we require here is about the basic principles in which, because any policy requires some principles. So, the basic principles of our foreign policy. In fact, there are many principles. The most important principle in our foreign policy is non-alignment. See, non-alignment is, in fact, it was the most important principle of our Nehruvian foreign policy. And even today, we are pursuing that. In fact, Nehru stressed on non-alignment because this was the time of the power blocks. Please remember, in 1948, NATO was created. And by 1955, we had the Warsaw Pact. Warsaw Pact was in 1955. So, there is a lot of pressure on the newly emerging countries, the newly decolonized countries to join either of the blocks. Both Soviet Union as well as the US, both of them were pressurizing these new countries to join either the NATO or the Warsaw Pact. So, this non-alignment as a policy emerged or as a basic principle emerged during the Nehruvian time just to keep away from the power politics or the bloc politics. And please remember, non-alignment is not neutrality. It is not neutrality. We are not talking about a neutral foreign policy. In fact, Nehruvian non-alignment was positive engagement with both the power blocs. We will actively engage. We will, apart from serving the national interest, it also went a long way in strengthening the cause of world peace also. So, it is not only in our national interest, it was in our world peace also, in the interest of the world peace also. It was active involvement and it was not neutrality. We were actively engaging with both the power blocs. We wanted good relationship with the US and the NATO, as well as the USSR and the East European countries. The only difference is that we were more sympathetic towards socialism and the socialistic bloc because Nehru himself was a socialist. But the difference between Nehru and the rest of the socialists were he was a democratic socialist. He believed in democratic socialism. Please remember, democracy, he was an ardent supporter of democracy. Democracy plus socialism. So, that is why Nehruvian socialism is totally different. So, the first principle of our foreign policy is, say, non-alignment. Okay. So, let me just, non-alignment as the first principle. Coming to the second principle is anti-colonialism and anti-imperialism. In fact, he was totally against any colonial mindset, anti-colonialism and anti-imperialism. See, imperialism as a philosophy, how to control the other countries and the smaller powers and how to maximize your return, how to use a smaller country in your favor, their economy, maybe through direct control, that is colonialism. So, it was, our foreign policy is totally against, because we just came out of the colonial yoke of the British. 300 years, almost 300 years we were under the control of British. We have seen the negative effects of colonialism. We have seen the negative effects of imperialism. We have seen drain of wealth. And Dadabhai Nauroji and all, they talked about how Britishers looted us, took our wealth and destroyed our handicrafts, destroyed our village industries, our small scale industries. So, we have seen, so as a matter of, since we ourselves were victims of colonialism and imperialism, we very strongly kept as a major policy of our major objective and a principle of our foreign policy as anti-colonialism and anti-imperialism. We did not want to show the same thing to our smaller neighbors. We do not want to behave like an imperialistic country to Nepal or to Bhutan or to Sri Lanka or Maldives or any of our smaller neighbors or any other country in the world. We wanted all these countries to be free and a free and fair dealing. So anti-colonialism and anti-imperialism was a major principle of our foreign policy. And third is opposition to racialism. See, racialism was a major problem during that time. And in South Africa, for example, the apartheid is the racial policy, that is the South African word for racialism, where blacks and the browns were completely subjugated to slavery like situation. And racialism was a major problem at that time. India was the first country immediately after independence. India was the first country to cut all diplomatic relations with South Africa. In 1948 itself, we cut all diplomatic relations only because they pursued racialism or apartheid. So opposition to racialism was a basic principle of our foreign policy. We said no compromise on this aspect. If somebody is pursuing this, we will not have any relationship with them. So we pursued. Even today, we are totally against all forms of racialism and discrimination. So definitely it is part of our basic principles of our foreign policy. Number 4, faith in peaceful coexistence and cooperation. Faith in peaceful coexistence and cooperation. See, immediately after the bifurcation of the country, or India and Pakistan, Nehruvian policy was Pakistan is a reality, now we have to coexist with them. We did not want to fight with them, we did not want to create any harm to them. We said yes, Pakistan, we did not want Pakistan to happen. We were opposed to this two-nation theory. We did not want Pakistan as a country to be formed. Indian National Congress and Mahatma Gandhi and Nehru, they were totally against formation of the religion-based, two-nation theory-based Pakistan. But once this became a reality, once we accepted because of the large-scale bloodshed and killings of the people and the communal violence which happened in India just before the partition, we finally accepted the two-nation theory. We did not accept the two-nation theory, we accepted the partition. The Indian National Congress leaders accepted partition. But now Nehruvian policy is, since Pakistan is a reality, we have to live, or rather we have to accept a peaceful coexistence. Let us have peaceful coexistence. So we have cultivated this relationship with China. We had a lot of differences with China even right from the beginning, with Pakistan, with other countries, with the surrounding Southeast Asian countries, West Asian countries. We believed in peaceful coexistence and we are pursuing this even today. But of course, slight changes are happening. Balakot attack, we have attacked Pakistan, or rather we used our air force to attack the terrorist training camps in Pakistan. So it may be slight deviation from what we were talking about, but definitely still, as a general principle, we still believe in peaceful coexistence and cooperation. Then faith in United Nations. So that is a major aspect of our principle of our foreign policy, faith in United Nations. That is why we are even interested in becoming a permanent member of the UN Security Council. And we would like to increase our role in the UN. We would like to play a larger role in resolving the problems of the world, as well as even the economic issues, the political issues. So we still have great faith in the United Nations. We want to play a larger role. India would like to become a permanent member in the UN Security Council on behalf of the developing countries, on behalf of Asia. We would like to be a member there. So we still continue with our full faith because India is one of the original signatories of the UN document. We are the founder member of the UN. The 51 countries which signed UN as a document, UN document 1945, India is one of them, because even before independence, British India, the Allied powers negotiated for the formation of the UN. And India is a founder member in that. In 1945 itself, India was a member, British India was a member, and so we have great faith. Nehru had great faith, and even today we have faith in the UN, no doubt. So it's a basic principle of our foreign policy. Then support to disarmament. In fact, nuclear disarmament is a major issue. We are talking about nuclear disarmament because we have seen the negative effects of the nuclear war. We have seen what happened in Hiroshima and Nagasaki in the Second World War. So India, right from the beginning, wanted a nuclear free world. We insisted on nuclear free world. We wanted all countries to give up nuclear weapons. Even though India is a nuclear power today, even today our philosophy and our policy is there should be a global nuclear disarmament, and India is more than willing to disarm if all of us are willing to disarm. If all countries including US, Russia and China, if all of us are disarming, India will not object. India's policy is that there should be a global disarmament. So we believe in disarmament. Then that's a policy, that's a principle of our foreign policy. Then peaceful use of nuclear energy. Another principle is peaceful use of, that means we would like to say peaceful use of nuclear technology. So we are insisting that every country has a right to use nuclear technology. We would like to use nuclear technology, and all countries should be allowed to have peaceful nuclear technology. So peaceful use of nuclear, that is why we insist on nuclear technology. We have Indo-US nuclear deal also, and we have we have taken exemption from nuclear supplier group, and we would like to ensure that we use nuclear energy for the development of the country. So peaceful use of nuclear energy is part of our foreign policy. And also another big principle of our foreign policy is intimate relationship with Commonwealth. See, the Commonwealth countries, intimate relationship with Commonwealth. Once again, intimate relations with Commonwealth countries. So this is something, again, a broad, it is a magnanimous idea, because say we were ruled by Britishers, we were exploited by Britishers for almost 300 years. But when we came out of the colonial rule, when we became independent, we are not keeping any grudge against the Britishers. We are saying we will have intimate relationship with those Britain and the countries who were colonies at that time. The idea is we have a shared history, we have a shared understanding, some shared values, the knowledge of English, many things are involved in that. So we would like to have intimate relationship with the entire Commonwealth countries, including Britain. So that is that shows how far-sighted our leaders were at that time. They had a larger vision for the world. See, you cannot mold a foreign policy of a country based on hatred, based on suspicion, based on doubt regarding another country. Yes, Britishers ruled us, they exploited us, that was the colonial time. Now let us forget it and let us have good relations with even Britain. So these were some of the basic principles of our foreign policy. So it includes non-alignment. Number 2, anti-colonialism, anti-imperialism, opposition to racialism, faith in peaceful coexistence and cooperation, faith in UN, support for disarmament, nuclear disarmament, peaceful use of nuclear energy, intimate relations with Commonwealth. So these were some of the basic principles of our foreign policy, and even today most of these principles are relevant and we are still pursuing with these principles. So these principles are relevant today. We are pursuing these principles with great vigor. Slight modifications are there, of course. 70 years have gone, more than 70 years have gone after independence. So naturally there will be some evolution of the foreign policy, some changes in that, but these principles by and large stand good even today. Today, non-alignment is not about the non-aligned movement. It is more about independence in foreign policy. We have an independent outlook towards our foreign policy. We are not guided by US or Russia or China. We have our own independent foreign policy. So even independence in policy is part of the this non-alignment. So these principles are still valid.